Hi, I'm John Billheimer with Basstar Lures, and today we're out here on Lake Casitas with Joe Uribe Sr., the designer of Basstar baits. Joe, tell me a little bit about these baits.
Hi, yeah, this bait here is what we call the silent runner, and the reason for it, it doesn't have the prop. It has the rotating hooks on the bait. There's 3 hooks on this bait. You can't really see this one in the back. You put the skirt, right here in the back.
So these hooks spin.
Yeah, these hooks will spin. And if you notice that normally everybody puts the feathers on the hook, on this last hook. But what I did is I put it around here so it actually looks all as one piece, and the hooks are actually hiding inside there.
Yeah.
Versus, how they
just a
have
bare
feathers.
hook. Yep.
Well, they have the feathers on the hook. Makes it all look like one unit. Yeah.
And tell me about this one, the prop on it.
This one here is the same type of a bait. It's just that it has a prop, gives a little bit more noise, a lot more disturbance on the water.
Joe, tell me a little bit about this bait.
Yeah, this bait here, it's a 6-inch bait. It's 4 ounces. We have the feathers on the back, which causes drag, which makes the bait swim a lot better. And what happens is, instead of putting the feathers on the hooks like normally all the other baits have it, we hit it inside to make the whole bait look like one unit here. And also it hides the hook, so when these fish actually come up and grab this feather or the skirt here, a lot of times when they nip it, the hook is right there in their face.
Yeah, the hook is virtually hidden.
Yes, it's hidden inside. Yeah,
that's...
but it also makes it a lot better for the strikes. When the hook ratio goes way up when you hide it in here like this.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, and also, like I said, it has the rotating hooks, a better hook ratio on that. Because a lot of times on this deal here, you're pulling this way and you're pulling this way, and the fish can't use it. If this thing were like a standard, type of a hook, but if this thing got rotated over, when the fish pulls it, the hook actually wants to turn and rotate out of its mouth. This way here, there's constant pressure from here to here from your rod.
So the hook has a little more movement, which...
Well, yeah, and also what happens is it just keeps penetrating. You can't turn it. It's always got the penetration into the fish. Also, when he starts to shake it, you can't use the bait as leverage to turn that hook and rip it out of his mouth.
That's
when he comes
awesome.
up and makes that.
That's great. And tell me about the one with the prop on it.
The one with the prop is for those windier days or days that are got a lot of noise. What happens is it causes a lot of water disturbance. It keeps the bait into the strike zone a little bit longer. You can rip it and just leave it there, pause it. The bait virtually just sits like this the whole time. When you're moving it, there's no rotation. A lot of it's moving, this way. Keeps the hooks into the strike zone.
Awesome.
And I like the eyes. We came out with normally the eyes are small, but I like a bigger eye usually because trout, when they're stressed and they're running, their eyes get really big, the pupils get big. And what happens too is when the fish is chasing it like this and it turns and he sees the eye, it thinks that the fish can see it. He's got to make his move. Versus if you put the eyes too small, then he doesn't see the eyes, he continues pacing the bait. It's also a trigger point. That's why we have an eye like this size with the eyes big.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Now I noticed that the little prop runner has fins on the side.
Yeah, the fins on the side, what happens is when this thing is moving, there again, we don't want it to rotate, so when the fish hits it, the hooks aren't in the strike zone. This one here keels it out to keep it upright, and even when you rip it and it goes underwater, it comes up. The fins, that's what they're designed for.
Those fins really help stabilize the bait.
It stabilizes the bait, yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And this one here, we did put a feather on the smaller ones. We're just gonna have the feather here. You can see how, there's a separation there. It's minute, but it'll work. The bait is so small, they take it. Versus that's why we have this one here. It makes the bait look all as
I'm really
as one
impressed
deal.
with the hidden hook.
Yeah.
It's a good deal.
And also this little bell that we have here, it's actually coned to keep the hook from coming forward and actually grabbing this other hook as easy. Versus if we didn't have this cone here, it would actually fold over and hook itself like a lot of these other baits will do. And the fish hits it and misses. You know,
Yeah.
you miss that strike. It's all about getting, you know, the hook ratio way up on these baits. You know, since we do a lot of tournament fishing, and you as well, and
Yep.
they're all tournament baits.
Now tell me about these crankbaits. These have an interesting design to them. I haven't ever seen one shaped like it.
Yeah, the shape on this bait here, why we put the little dimples in here, the golf ball type of effect. What happens is when you're casting it, the air causes less friction, because when it's flying through the air, it gets a little bit more distance in your cast.
Just like a golf ball.
Yes, just like the golf ball effect. It also does make the bait look a little bit different. Also, when it's in the water moving, all your baits are kind of smooth. This one here displaces water a little bit differently. It's causing the fish to maybe, you know, react because they don't hear it, sense it, or feel that vibrate. It's a different vibration in the bait.
Subtle difference.
Yes. And we also have another bait.
The dredger.
Yeah, the dredger, which looks just like a normal crankbait.
Far from it though.
Yeah. What happens is we have an external weight and an internal weight. And what that does, you can hear it moving. All our baits are going to have this where it rotates. You make the cast, your weight shifts, it launches it, gets it to its target. Once it hits the water, it rolls forward. This weight that's here causes it to go straight down. When it hits the bottom, it stands up, it stays like this, and then it takes off. You can fish this at any depth you want. It goes to 50 feet, 100 feet. You know, it's something new. You know, also why I like this particular bait, when you cast it out, it goes down. You're actually going straight down, and you're covering all this water this way, versus a standard crankbait, it goes in at an angle until it gets down to a certain depth. You move it across, and then it starts its way up, so you're getting a little bit more distance for.
It stays in the strike zone a lot longer.
Yeah, it stays a lot longer in the strike zone.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And as far as colors go on the crankbaits, you obviously got the red craw on the sunfish.
Yes, and we also have a chartreuse shad color that's going to look like this in our crankbait. We don't have that one right at the moment, but these are the colors for right now. And why I like the painted colors versus the you know, the transparent ones, because on the big swim baits, you're normally fishing them in the dark or dark, low light colored water, so they can't really see that transparentness. So you kind of need something a little more bold and painted.
Yeah. Sticks out a little better.
Yeah.
Well, these baits are awesome, man.
Yeah, we can
catch a lot of fish too.
Yeah, they'll walk. Like this one here, it's got a lot more of a walk because there's less drag. So you're gonna get a little more walk. Versus this one here will walk, but it's gonna stay stable, and it's just gonna do this. A lot of people think it's gonna walk more because with the prop, but no, it's not gonna do that. It's more for ripping.
Yeah.
You know, and just rip.
It's a prop bait.
Yeah, it's a prop bait.
Yeah.
And this is more like a Zorro spook type of a bait, more of a walking bait.
This one would be probably better in a little windier, cloudier days.
Yes. Yeah. And they all come with the you know, silver, you know, chrome. But if you want, you know, I can paint. You know, you can paint them. Just take a marker and paint them.
Yeah, nail polish.
Yeah, nail polish. Yeah, get a different lighting on it because it gives out too much flash. If you don't need that.
Great.
We can throw them in the water and show you how they work and how to work them and stuff. What I like to use these particular baits is on a swim bait rod, just standard swim bait rod, like you have there.
Just 7/6, heavy rod. I like to use braided line on all my topwater baits. Yeah. Especially when fishing for big fish and big baits. It makes it a lot easier. You can cast farther. No stretch.
Yeah, all our baits, if you notice, it has the ring in the front. This is good for wear, you know, I mean for line wear, so because the bait's moving so much, it's got the ring, helps you do that deal. Our walking bait, what I like to do is take that ring off and just tie direct to here. It makes the line come straight out and doesn't foul hook as much, because a lot of times this will fall down and get a little bit closer because it's got a real wide walk. So you can, unless you're fishing real aggressive, you'll see a lot of times I'm running it and racing it, causing, you know, the water to pop up like a pop-ar type of a deal. That's good to leave the ring on, because you're causing a lot of stress on the line and stuff.
Let's throw them in the water and see how they work.